Well, it's Wednesday evening, and I'm here to give you a report on the status of the Madera Speedway and where we are at for the kickoff of the 2020 season. It's not the news we all want to hear. We know we're shut down for quite a period of time as far as full racing. We explored a lot of options that included no grandstands racing. We looked at other options that included very small practices, 50 people or less, and then all the way downhill to single car practices to keep some of the teams and the hired teams functioning at some capacity. There has been a lot of calls with other drivers that are shut down at other racetracks that are very interested in coming to the Madera Speedway and just running some laps, so we thought we could take care of some of the hired teams that way. But I'm here to report it's all failed. I tried my best. We understand, to keep everyone safe, we absolutely cannot function with races. We cannot have large crowds. We absolutely understand that. The part that I'm very disappointed about is the fact we cannot even do single car tests with 4 or 5 people on the property, and these are teams that, currently hang out in the shops together. So that's understandable. We want to support the county, the state. We want to do the right thing. That's why we closed last weekend, as difficult and financially, impactful as that was. We understand that. But we're also, we understand there are people that make a living from the sport, from tire manufacturers, chassis manufacturers, fuel suppliers, oil, to the mechanics that work on these cars, the team owners, everyone in between. There's a lot of people that depend on this sport. So we were hoping to keep some very small single car practices. That was really the main focal point and what's taken so long from Monday through today. But that just didn't take place. Now, where are we at for the opener of the Madera Speedway? Realistically, it looks like the first weekend of May. That looks like the first opportunity nationwide for anything real to happen. But what we are doing is we will be shut down through the first weekend of April, and then we will continue to do 2-week evaluations, working with the state, health departments. In case something changes for the positive, we want to leave the option of opening earlier. So 2-week evaluations after the first week of January, the first week of April. Tired, a lot of hours here, sorry about that. So we are absolutely shut down through the opener, what was going to be our televised opener, first week of April. That's now shut down. Realistically, it looks like the first opportunity will be the first week of May, but there we will evaluate every 2 weeks. Again, testing, we're under a total shutdown. That came down today. The Madera Fairgrounds asked us and let us know they did not want us to function whatsoever. The Madera Fair manager, I had multiple meetings and conversations, and that was very clear. They want 0 operations, 0 people on the grounds. So we're going to adhere to their request, even though we felt that we could do it safely, again, with 4 or 5 individual single car tests, keep some activity going for those teams, but that's just not the case. And we've worked really hard. I will continue to make that case, but right now we're not having success with that. We're under total shutdown. I do want to touch on something else. Today, the Madera Flea Market operated in the Madera pit area. The reason I bring this up is we had a tremendous amount of phone calls into our race office. I even had people reaching out to myself through my cell phone. We don't control that. That's not our flea market. Most of the consensus was, if they can run, we can run. Why isn't the racetrack running? And again, I know there's a lot of pressure financially on the teams. But I canceled last Saturday night to keep everyone safe. I felt like that was the right move. We need to err on the side of caution. And I think at this point, we have to keep everyone safe, and we have to follow the guidelines of the state and the county. If others function or choose not to do that and go past the 250 cap, or the 50, or even the 10 cap, depending on what you look at right now. To me, it's a 10-person cap right now, and even lower. So if others choose to function larger events, I can't control that, and I want to be very clear on this. Complaining to our race office or giving us extremely negative feedback, I understand your concerns. I absolutely understand them. Yes, it's frustrating, but I can't do anything about that. There's others to voice the opinion to. It's not our race office, the girls working at the race office, or myself. I can't do anything about that. And again, I understand the frustration, But my intent is to keep everyone at the Madera Speedway as safe as possible, everyone within our racing community as safe as possible. I was fighting and scratching and clawing to get the single car testing going, because I know there's a lot of people that depend on revenue from our program, and we wanted to help those teams, and that's where my focus will be for the next couple of weeks, continuing to work on the single car testing to try and make that happen. I want to thank Kerry Agajanian. Kerry is the premier motorsports attorney. He helps so many of the short tracks, donates his time at the promoter's workshop. He's an amazing individual. He's our attorney and his firm. And for the last week, Kerry, as he always is for us, Kerry's been amazing. He helped me a lot with the Copper Classic efforts that we've had to bring back the Copper Classic at Phoenix. I spent a lot of time with Kerry last year and the year before on that. And this last week and a half, Kerry has been amazing to work with. And again, you know, I want to give a shout out to Kerry. His family's been, they're legendary in this sport, and Kerry continues to be the most giving person to short track racing that I know in the entire industry. So thank you, Kerry, very much for what you've done for us and for the sport. Again, I want to touch on this. I know the hotels, the restaurants, everyone's struggling so bad, and this is so negative, not just racing, but as a whole to the country. But there's an opportunity to bounce back on the other side stronger. I believe there's some things that will be very positive on the other side of this. Racing can come back in a very strong way. The industry will. There's other opportunities for manufacturing things that used to, you know, they were made in China. I think that's probably going to change as people educate themselves, and I can see an absolute manufacturing boom from Detroit clear down to Texas and everywhere in between in the central part of the country, that I think, you know, whether it's 5 months, 6 months, a year from now, I think we're going to be very optimistic about how some things come back home and we control our destiny, so this doesn't happen again as far as the financial side. So I know it's a financial hit. Again, speaking directly to those of you that make a living from this sport, I feel your pain. You know, we have other business ventures, but I invest a tremendous amount of money in the Madera Speedway, and this is very painful to us as well. And I'm doing everything I can, even offering, as we come back, if we can get back earlier with no spectators, which is, we pay, you know, beer and hot dogs and soda pop is how we pay for a lot of those purses, but we will bring it back no matter what it takes. I said it on the news earlier. We're also working on contingencies in our schedule that would include double headers, probably some Friday night and Saturday night races, different shows on MAV TV, one Friday night, one Saturday. So if 2-for-1 for the race teams, we're going to do everything we can to get this in and to make it as painless as possible for the race teams and all sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, 5150 Nut Up, thank you guys so much. We have content coming out on MAV TV, new content. Tomorrow night is the 47th Annual Harvest Classic, a tribute to Kenny Takeuchi, tribute to Donnie Large Sr. Nut Up and 5150 are the most incredible sponsors, so supportive, and thank you so much for the support in 2020. And even though we're not racing yet, and you'll hear everything with full energy once we start racing, Nut Up and 5150 is all over our television show and helping us keep this new content on MAV TV. So thank you to both of those sponsors, Nut Up Industries and 5150. Make sure you guys go out and support them very much. Give them a tip of the hat. Order something from their websites. They could really use the business right now. I mentioned MAV TV tomorrow night. Other than that, it's just stay tuned. Again, I sincerely thank everyone for the support. I'm sorry to the race teams that depend on this. And the people that depend on this for a paycheck. I tried really hard to keep something going, but at this time, the Madera Speedway is shut down, complete shutdown, complete darkness. From the guys that make money from, you know, working at the racetrack, cleaning the bleachers, to I was trying to come up with a way to at least do some testing, keep something going. That's not the case. We are following the instructions of the fairgrounds. We're following the instructions of the state, but even farther than the state, operating with a very limited cap. The fairgrounds wants us shut down at this point, so we're going to do that. So again, stay tuned. I'll keep, there'll be an update again next week. I know a lot of you wanted this update much earlier. Sorry, it's Wednesday night, but I didn't want to give you incomplete information. And we went through meetings and phone calls all day today looking for other options to keep the testing component alive to help the race teams. At this point, that just didn't take place. So again, stay tuned and certainly keep up with us on our Facebook page, Short Track TV YouTube channel, and then racemadera.com and watch MAV TV. We will push a lot of new content out Thursday nights, 5 and 8 p.m. Pacific time, for you guys to watch brand new content and a lot more. We're working here at the studios every single day. I've got a very small crew right now. There's 3 people in total working, but we're pushing new content out right now every single week. So again, thank you guys. Sorry, I wish this news was different, but right now we all need to stay safe, and please keep your families safe. Check on your older family members, neighbors, friends. It's time to lend a helping hand to each other, wrap our arms around each other, and keep all of us safe. And I look forward to seeing everyone as soon as possible at the Madera Speedway.